Well, Briarcliff Motocross ruffling some feathers this morning with a new pit bike policy adoption post. Let me read it to you first. We are adopting a pit vehicle policy similar to what many tracks are doing. I'm using the picture attached as a guide. I'll show you those in just a minute. TRX 90 and utility ATVs are permitted, as I know we have families with actual disabilities that use these to get around the facility, as well as being used to retrieve power wash water. So absolutely nobody under 16, no mini cycles, bring a bicycle. Pit vehicle passes will be sold for $20. Do not buy one expecting it to be okay to have an 8-year-old riding all over the place on a 110. It's not happening. First time is a warning, second time is a DQ. Additionally, you must be an AAMA member for this AMA event. Keep in mind, this policy was announced the day before the event. Yes, it may have ruffled a few feathers, but Briarcliff didn't start this policy. This actually started at Loretta's, and now we're seeing a wave of this same policy being adopted all over the country at motocross tracks. Is it an insurance thing? Is it just fed up promoters thing? I don't know, but let's look at what is approved and not approved. Prohibited list first. Looks like any performance side-by-sides. It blows my mind that they actually listed these out by names instead of just saying, this and something like this. The Razor Turbos, the Talons, the Maverick, the Terex, KRX4, all that stuff. Honda 50, KLX 110, Sur-Ron Light B, super popular in the pits now. Scooters, which is wild since most scooters are street legal. I don't know how they can keep you from really moving around in a street legal vehicle if you're allowed to move around in a car or truck, but whatever. Stasics. This is probably the worst if you're a parent. My son specifically learned to ride his Stasic in the pits at a motocross track, having to get back and forth to the line. He was 2.5, 3 years old, and it really helped mom out. He got to learn to ride. She didn't have to carry him. So yeah, this one really stinks because that's how kids pass a lot of the hours and hours of dead times they get at these tracks that have 50 classes by playing on their Stasics. So yeah, what is allowed? So it looks like the slow farm use side-by-sides, Vikings, Pioneers, Mules, a Razor XP, okay, a Defender, a regular Terex, all those go pretty fast. Yeah, they're not as loud. A Defender's not as loud as a Maverick, but it would do the same damage, and for pit uses, it would go just as fast. I really don't get it. Expedition, okay, so you can drive around a Polaris Expedition that's almost the size of a Jeep Wrangler, but not a street legal scooter, okay? Bicycle with pedals, e-bike with pedals but with no throttle, a golf cart, and a few other side-by-sides. So mainly just slow farm use side-by-sides is all you can have. We're losing things mainly because parents aren't being responsible for their kids. Back in the day, there used to always be at the big tracks, there used to be kind of a pit policer, somebody that worked for the promoter that would kind of drive around the pits on a four-wheeler at the big races, make sure people aren't doing crazy stuff. In my opinion, if you're selling pit passes, then you can pay somebody to police some of these kids that are out of control if their parents won't do it. And if it's a recurring problem, you just ask them to leave. Taking these privileges away from everybody blanketedly is just not the way to do it. It's kind of sad to me that it's came to this, but if anybody's an insider and they can kind of comment down below and let me know, is this an insurance thing? Is it a promoter thing? Is it both? And I hate the direction this is going.